Hey everybody, wanted to give you a little bit more insight into the social media part of your content and experience plan here. So as we're talking about social media, it's one of those things that everybody's really familiar with. You probably interact with it daily in your own personal lives, but using for a business component can be a lot different. So just like any of your content, make sure that everything is really squared away with in a manner that will manifest your brand value proposition and is squared away with your audience. So using the right mediums that make sense for your audience. So it's one thing to know that Twitter has X million users, but is that where your audience is? The people to whom you want to target, is Twitter a big thing for them? So any type of unique element or unique medium that you're going to advocate that you're using, make sure that you're well aware of what your audience does, wants, and how they interact with that. That's it for the social media component piece of this assignment. I've seen a lot of pieces come through, so I know a lot of the common pitfalls that brands tend to, or that students tend to go through with this. So just running through a couple of those things with you is not telling me about the mediums or the audience. So remember, is my role, if we think about this as the CMO of the company or CEO of the company, I know about these things, so you don't need to tell me that Twitter does this, has this million people. I know those things, trust that I have that, but talk about how it works for your audience. How much of your audience is going to be when you're making the case for the different mediums that you're going to use. Second, make sure you go through organic versus paid for social media because they are very different ways you use them. And make sure you're spending some time in research and learning about organic versus paid in social media realm, and that you're talking to how you're going to use both of those elements. Also, really important that you're talking about measurement. How are you going to measure the success of your campaign? And it has to go above vanity metrics. This should be a several slide section of your overall presentation talking about the measurement of all of your content, but especially for social media. And it needs to go beyond vanity metrics, like shares, those kind of things. How are you going to equate the things that you're doing to actual sales that are happening? How are you going to know that that's happening? Another common piece that I see is people not using the unique traits of the medium. So for example, when you show, if you're saying you're going to use Twitter, that should look and feel and act very different than how you use Instagram or how you use YouTube or whatever piece it's going to be for that. Make sure you're really using the unique traits of the medium because that's super important for how this goes. And then from there, just making sure that you take the creative. So when you're talking, you're showing these pieces of content that you're creating, make sure that they are created in layout and so that I can see and follow. So you're not just saying hypothetically here are the things you're going to do, we can actually see those. And the final thing that's really important in here is that you make sure you talk about the intent behind all of these, right? Connect all of the creative, all of the things that you're doing, not just social media, but the other pieces here that you're able to connect to what the brand value proposition is, what you have in terms of what you're building out for all of those elements. So hopefully there's some things that can help you for the social media component of your overall digital content and experience plan. But let me know what other questions you have. I'd love to help you out and look forward to seeing what you come up with for this section of your assignment. Thanks, everybody.